A goal is an endpoint that we're trying to get to. The systems are the processes that allow us to get there.
So, the danger with systems thinking is that analysis paralysis. It's holding your actions hostage to your system.
And what we've really found helps us is to think about minimum viable systems.
Welcome to the Living Life Our Way podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you live intentionally. Our goal is to take back control of our lives by living life on our terms. Join us as we work towards living life our way.
Welcome back. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Troy.
And today we're going to talk about not having systems thinking hold action hostage. So, a quote from James Clear that we really like, but we've been kind of wrestling with implementation of: we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems.
And the idea being is that a goal is an endpoint that we're trying to get to. The systems are the processes that allow us to get there. If we focus on the processes, the goal becomes automatic. No matter how much we focus on the goals, absent the systems that facilitate movement towards that goal, we're in trouble.
Yeah, he talks a lot in his book about everyone has the same goal. So NBA teams all want to win an NBA championship. The team that wins is because they have the best system.
Right. And the book that we're talking about is Atomic Habits. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, we certainly recommend it.
Absolutely.
But there's two dangers that we're talking about. One is not having systems. The problem that we've been wrestling with, though, is being so focused in on the systems and selecting the systems that we don't end up taking action.
So the danger with systems thinking is that analysis paralysis. It's holding your actions hostage to your system.
Right. It's been said that perfection is the enemy of progress. And that plays a role in systems thinking, where we're trying so hard to make sure that the systems allow for efficiency that we don't end up taking any action.
Yeah, so we have those actions that are being held hostage by systems thinking. What is the way to introduce systems without holding those actions hostage?
Right. And what we've really found helps us is to think about minimum viable systems. So we're looking for that system that allows us to take action in an intentional way, but is the simplest way to modify and refine as we move through the learning process that comes with action.
Yeah, the ability to iterate a system is really important in building that initial system.
And the difficulty that's inherent in incorporating the system into those initial actions is really where the danger lies. If it takes us too long to build out those systems, then those iterations become difficult, not only from a time perspective, but also from a loss aversion perspective. We've invested so much into this system, we're very reticent to make a change.
That's absolutely right. And the longer we wait to start that action, the harder that action becomes.
Correct. In fact, we often mistake analysis for action.
Yes.
And if we just take action, oftentimes we'll have a better view of what systems will enable the subsequent actions. So we're huge fans of developing systems. We're huge fans of figuring out ways to do it efficiently and reduce the barriers to continued action. But we do find that oftentimes our efforts to make those next actions more efficient impede the first action.
Yeah, if you would have been with us in our business for the last year, you would understand how much we love the system building process rather than the action taking process.
Correct.
Yeah, so over the past little bit, we've really recognized the importance of implementing action taking as the essential part of system building.
Correct. You cannot ever replace action with analysis.
So here's our current minimum viable system. The first step is to define where you want to get to.
Yes, and after you've defined specifically and explicitly where you're trying to get to, now start designing the minimum viable system that allows us to start taking some of those initial first steps.
So one thing that we talked about a couple episodes ago is spring cleaning. There's an opportunity there to implement this system.
Correct. And we see the benefit of the systems thinking by sitting down and trying to define exactly what we're wanting to accomplish. But we also see the peril of spending too much time worrying about that and not just getting going on doing the cleaning.
Yeah, so if we spend too much time talking about how we want to clean, the cleaning will never get done. If we do it haphazardly, it's hard to keep track of what has been done and what still needs to be done.
And it's hard to make efficient progress towards the priorities if we're not clear what those priorities are.
No question. So, kind of to wrap things up, here is our first steps in our systems building framework.
The first step is to define. Be clear, be explicit.
The second step is to design. What is the minimum viable system that allows you to take action?
The next is to align. Start making your actions align with what those minimum viable systems suggest as the next actions.
And the last step is to refine. Go back to your define stage, see, is this still something I want? And then go to your design stage and say, is this system effective at getting me to where I want to be?
Sounds great.
So one thing to keep in mind, just as a final tip, is set deadlines. Set deadlines for starting action and finishing the action.
And there will be some actions that you're taking or some projects that you're working on that won't necessarily have a finish. It may be a habit, a lifestyle habit that you're looking to set, but you can still set mile markers. You can still set expectations as it relates to timing to make sure that you're staying on target.
So yeah, it's all about making sure you're clear on when you're going to start taking action.
For more information, check out our blog. The link is in the description. And please subscribe. We're going to be talking more about systems thinking in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.